Hello, everybody. It's me, Tammy Devine, for Tammy's Take. Tammy's Take is the crossroads of politics and pop culture. I'm Tammy Devine. This is my take. Take it or leave it. I hope you'll take it to heart. Breaking some news here. This, I think, is going to be a big deal, and I think it's going to make a lot of people mad at me, but ultimately, the news is news. Truth is truth, and you just got to put it out there, and again, people can take from it what they will. I received communication from a source I trust. And this is somebody who has been plugged into the scenes of community activism for a very long time. And my source sent me information from a Jane Doe. I know it's always tricky when you get a Jane Doe, or a, John Doe, but I received information from a Jane Doe who is alleging sexual harassment from one of the largest chapters of NAN, the National Action Network. This woman alleges that the Reverend K.W. Tulloss, Kasheen Wayne Tulloss, of the National Action Network Los Angeles chapter sexually harassed her, made her feel very uncomfortable in the workplace. She has sent a letter to the Reverend Al Sharpton, whose organization this belongs to ultimately. And the lawyers have responded to her. The lawyers basically in a letter said that they're going to investigate, but they're investigating internally. They clarified to Jane Doe that they're not having this be any kind of police investigation or anything like that, but it's an internal investigation of the National Action Network. Reverend Tulloss, who has a church in Los Angeles, also works for a U.S. Congresswoman as well. So this is not a small potatoes thing. This is a pretty big deal, and I think it's important for this information to get out. One of the reasons why I think this is important is one of the things that Jane Doe said in her letter was that it's ironic that NAN, shows support for women and says that, they're part of the Me Too movement, and no one should have to go through something like this, and yet in their own organization, there's this investigation going on of one of the largest chapters of NAN. I'll read a little from the top. She says, "Dear Reverend Al Sharpton, I'm writing to inform you of the sexual harassment that I experienced as an employee of the Los Angeles chapter of the National Action Network, NAN, under Reverend Kasheen Wayne Tulloss." She also says that shortly after I was hired, Reverend Tulloss began to engage in improper professional behavior. He once let me know that his marriage was failing and then urged me to consider dating a married man. After I rebuffed his indirect advance, he told me with a smile on his face that he wasn't trying to sleep with me. By December of 2016, she says, I realized that I was not the only woman who suffered under the weight of Reverend Tulloss's inappropriate and offensive sexual advances. Reverend Tulloss even showed me a video of a nude woman shaking her behind on a bed. This woman was a chapter member of NAN Los Angeles. She goes on to say, the crux of Reverend Tulloss's behavior materialized in January of 2017 when the Los Angeles chapter went to Washington, D.C. to protest Donald Trump's inauguration. Because I could not afford a hotel room, Reverend Tulloss proposed that I share a room with him. Despite my reservations, I agreed. One morning, as I went to the bathroom to take a shower, Reverend Tulloss propositioned me for oral sex. He blatantly asked me, "Can I eat your P word?" I denied his inappropriate and offensive advance and left the hotel room. So that was about as graphic as the letter got. There are a lot of people out there who do not have a lot of love for Reverend Al Sharpton. A lot of people consider him to be a race hustler. They consider him and NAN to be a part of a group of people that basically come out when there are issues involving white on black violence and collect a whole lot of money and then take off. The question is, who are they helping? Are they helping the people in need? Maybe there are a lot of people out there that would say, yes, they have helped. But if something like this is also going on, then I think it's important for people to know, especially if it has to do with sexual harassment, because that is a big deal that a lot of people are talking about right now. So I will keep working on this story and I will bring it forward, and I think it's important for people to know. And I know it's going to get a lot of people angry at me because a lot of people are big fans of Reverend Sharpton, and they're big fans of the work that they have done in the Black community, and I get it. But if we want equality, then we need to be able to be held accountable for everything as Blacks and African Americans as anybody else would. And I think that a situation like this, which is really looking to have quite a bit of veracity to it, a situation like this needs to be brought to light, and people need to be held responsible for it as well. That's it for now for this episode of Tammy's Take. Again, Tammy's Take is the crossroads of politics and pop culture. I'm Tammy Devine. This is my take. Take it or leave it. I hope you'll take it to heart. See you next time.